Hey everyone, this is just going to be a quick video demonstrating some of the things that you can do in the new Equilinox creative mode, which has now been released. So if you've got Equilinox, you can try it out right now, and if you don't have Equilinox yet, you can of course get it on Steam for $9.99, and a link to the Steam page is in the description below. So to get started with creative mode, you simply have to select it from the drop down menu when you're creating a new world, and then you will be able to get started with placing as many animals and plants as you want. And I've also added a new feature for when you're placing stuff, and that is that if you hold down the M key, you'll place multiple objects at once, as you can see here, and that makes it very quick and easy to create new ecosystems. And this works as well with animals. And also for the animals, I've added one other placement option, which is that if you hold down the N key when you're placing, it places 50 of that animal. So that makes it possible to very quickly add loads of animals into the scene. And I found that the placing itself actually can look quite cool, especially if you do it with some of the flying animals like the bees and the butterflies. And in general, it's just quite fun to see these giant swarms of thousands of animals in the world at the same time. Something else that's new to creative mode is the new colouring options for objects, allowing you to change the colour of pretty much any plant or animal in the game. And this, I discovered, allows you to do pixel art in Equilinox using mushrooms. I found the best way to do this was to enlarge the mushrooms to make each mushroom the size of one of the grid squares on the terrain, and then you can kind of use the terrain grid as a guide for your pixel art. And of course, it's not just the colours of objects that you can edit, you can also freely edit any of their traits, such as their size trait, to make them bigger or smaller. So, for example, here is a completely normal, albeit slightly windy scene, but actually no, it's a tiny little scene with miniature trees and plants and sheep, and there's also a giant carrot going through the entire world. Over here, I've genetically modified some super fast wolves, and when they decide to go hunting, it's very bad news for the sheep. There are quite a few species in Equilinox that also have some interesting behaviours that are fun to play around with in creative mode. So for example, I've got a few hundred flies and fly catching plants here, which results in a bit of a fly massacre. And because it's creative mode, nothing can actually die, so the flies just keep respawning, and this keeps going on forever. You can also take control of one of the flies and try and guide it through the killing fields if you want, but that usually doesn't go too well. Frogs and toads also have a similar behaviour. They jump up and catch insects, and that's what's going on here. The fish are also quite cool. The smaller fish always flee from the predator fish, so if you place hundreds of small fish, you can get some quite cool effects by chasing them with a pike. And if you place down a load of pikes, you can get some very interesting movement from the fish. The meerkats, of course, also have an interesting behaviour. They create the burrows, and they're fun to watch when they're jumping in and out of the burrows, especially in slow motion. And I've shown this in a video before, but if you get a predator, the meerkats will actually try and, well, they'll run away from the predator and they'll jump into their burrows. So I'm taking control of this wolf, and as you can see, I can scare the animals by pressing the E key, which I'm going to do now. And you can see that causes all of the meerkats to escape into their burrows. A few stragglers here, but soon enough they'll all be completely gone. And then if I remove the threat by deleting the wolf here, you'll see that they all start emerging from their holes again. And of course, another thing that creative mode is good for is just creating some nice looking low poly scenes, using all of the new tools, the colour customization, the multiple placing, the duplication tool. And I'd love to see some of the screenshots of the things that you create, so do send me some pictures on Twitter or by email. So that's going to be it for this quick demonstration video. I really hope you enjoy the creative mode. Let me know if you have any more suggestions or feedback, or if you find any bugs. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching this video. Do subscribe if you haven't already. Have a fantastic week, and I will see you all next time.